this is crucial to understand, because when we go to Yeshua and he tells us to consume his flesh, why does he say to consume it? Because that's the way to get eternal life. He is the way, the truth, and what was that last word? I forgot. Life. That's what he says. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. So if you want eternal life, then consume the life. But this is what I want you to think about. Listen to the same commandment. Imagine Yeshua saying this to you. Forget about what you heard before, right? For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you on the altar, the cross, to make atonement for your souls. Are you kidding me? For it is the blood that makes the atonement for life. Did you get that?
I had thought of yet another great metaphor, another great analogy for this. It's like, okay, sex. We can't have sex before marriage.
Ooh, this is great. I know where you're going.
Yeah. You can't have sex before marriage. Why?
Right.
Why can't you have sex before marriage? Because it's a covenant. There's so many reasons why, but because it's sacred. Sex is the
conjugal act, right?
Yeah. It's
a unification.
The unification. It bonds you together. It makes the covenant. It makes it covenant That's why for Catholics, actually, this is an interesting thing. Just to side note, for Catholics, just to get a bit explicit here. If you're not physically able to have sex, like let's say you went to war and your parts got blown off and you don't have them. Okay, just to put it explicitly.
Right.
You can't get married. It's tragic. But that's how important that's how important it is, like the sex in marriage. Like it is such a big part of it. So I think it goes back to, you can't have the blood, you can't eat the blood because of this reason. And
Exactly.
now when you enter into marriage, now you have to do it.
Yes.
It used to be, no, you can't at all. No. And it seems like a bad thing, but it's
goodness
not.
gracious.
The reason why you were restricted from it is because of how important it is. Because once you... So Jesus, again, this is why another link with the Eucharist is that Jesus is giving his entire body as a gift to you.
Man,
The talk that I always reference is Father Mike's The Hour That Will Change Your Life, and he uses this idea of, well, first of all, he walks us through this analogy of, as humans, when we want intimacy, we just want to touch them. We want to be physical with them. It's our sexual desire. It's for physical intimacy. And that is intimacy with Christ. We're drawn to intimacy with Christ. And what is intimacy with Christ? Christ giving his entire body and soul to you. And Father Mike, he shared a story of how when this guy, he got married to his wife, and after the first time, they had sex after their wedding, and they attended mass the next morning, and he had communion, and he just started weeping, and he said, I understand now. Like,
wow.
This is when he said, this is my body, which is given up for you, this is what we did with each other last night when we, had sex. We gave each other's entire bodies to each other. And it's just all of these things, they just link together. Everything is linked.
Yeah.
When you understand Catholicism, everything just links together. Everything makes sense. Everything is connected.
Hold on. I really have to dive into this. Okay, man, you blew up my mind right now, because you mentioned how the consumption of the blood is all about the covenant. This is something that I don't know if anybody's capturing this. I wish that everybody could feel this how I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
How was the covenant, I'm talking about the Mosaic covenant, how was that covenant ratified? How was it actually officiated? With the slaughter of bulls. Why couldn't it just be sprinkling water over the people? Why did it have to be blood? Because it is life. The blood, right? This is where the life is. The life is in the blood. And thus, to make this covenant, which is a binding of lives, you need blood. Yeshua offers his blood to ratify the covenant. That's why he says, this is my blood of the new and eternal covenant. And it's exactly what you just said. This shows that unification. The reason why we cannot drink the blood of animals, why this was given as a commandment, is because that would be making us being in covenant with the animals. We're not supposed to be in covenant with anybody else except for God.
Exactly,
and you know what?
Exactly. And with sex, you're not supposed to be in covenant with anyone else.
Exactly. Oh my God.
Not just not just on the animal level, of course, not with animals.
Not with anyone.
Even with anyone, not with another person of the same sex, with the one that you remain in covenant with forever.
Exactly.
Same.
This is why your example of the marriage and sex is such a huge thing too, because marriage is a covenant, as you stated.
It is.
And man, this is just so much. Look, we are in a marriage covenant with God. The church is called the bride. Yeshua is the groom.
Yes.
And
Yes,
if we're in a
exactly.
marriage with him and we bind ourselves with anybody else, we're committing adultery. This is why idolatry and adultery are so tied in together. And they're basically just mirror images of each other. And this is why, okay, so adultery is when you're cheating on your spouse. Idolatry is when is cheating on your spiritual spouse. This
so
is
great.
so huge, man. Like, I wish I
We're
could talk to
just-
everybody else who's in
yeah.
here to get everybody else's
Just
thought. Oh,
freaking out about this, and I bet like some Catholic theologian who already knows all of this, he's looking at us and he's like, "Bruh, like guys."
like you're late to the game.
But you know, it's understandable because this is why we do what we do, right? We just want everyone else to be able to just feel what we're feeling right now. As you said, when you understand it, it's like, wow, we are so lucky.